When I crossed that graduation stage, the only sound I heard wasn't applause. It was silence. My family wasn't there, not because they couldn't come, because they chose not to. My name is Isabella, and I was the first in my family to go to college. 4 years of sleepless nights, part-time jobs, and skipped meals led to that single day, my graduation. I had imagined it since I was a little girl. My mom crying, my dad cheering, my brother clapping. But instead, I got a text from my mother the night before. "Sweetie, we can't make it tomorrow. Your brother's wedding expenses are piling up, and he needs help with the deposit. You understand, right?" Understand? I reread the message 3 times. They'd asked me 2 days earlier if I could contribute $3,500 toward my brother's wedding. I told them I didn't have it. My savings barely covered my rent. My dad said, "You're doing well now. It's family. We all pitch in." I told him I was proud of my brother, but I couldn't afford it. Apparently, that was the wrong answer. Because the next day, instead of sitting in the front row at my ceremony, they were across town helping my brother pick floral arrangements. So I walked that stage alone. No chairs, no hugs, just the echo of my name and the quiet satisfaction that for once I had done something for myself. But what they didn't know was that day changed me, and it marked the beginning of my quiet revenge. After graduation, I landed a job at a local architecture firm. It didn't pay much at first, but I was determined to grow. My brother, on the other hand, worked sporadically at our uncle's car dealership and spent his savings on trips with his fiancée, Brianna. Within months, they were planning a lavish wedding. Ballroom, string quartet, designer dress, the works. Every conversation with my parents turned into a guilt trip about helping the family. But something in me had hardened. When my father called and said, "Isabella, your brother's asking if you'll help with the catering payment, just $3,500. I took a deep breath and said calmly, "I'll think about it." Then I thought about all the nights I studied under flickering dorm lights, the times I pawned my own laptop for rent, the birthdays they skipped because of money issues. I decided they needed a lesson. The next few months, I kept my distance. My boss noticed my work ethic and offered me a promotion and a big project that came with a hefty bonus. When the wedding invitations went out, I RSVP'd yes. My parents seemed relieved. "We knew you'd come through," my mom said cheerfully. "You're bringing the check, right?" I smiled. "Absolutely." The wedding was grand. Chandeliers, ice sculptures, champagne fountains. Brianna wore a dress worth more than my student loans. My family looked proud, basking in the luxury. My father even bragged to guests, "Isabella helped fund this too. She's the successful one in the family." I stayed quiet, smiling politely. When it was time for speeches, my brother stood with his arm around Brianna and said, "I want to thank my amazing family and especially my sister Isabella for supporting us in every way possible." Cameras flashed. Everyone turned toward me. My mom beamed, expecting me to stand and present my big contribution. Instead, I walked up to the stage holding a small white envelope. "Thank you, James," I said softly into the microphone. "Family is important. And I've learned that sometimes support means giving exactly what someone deserves." I handed him the envelope. He smiled and opened it. Inside was a single dollar bill. $1. The room fell silent. My mother's face turned pale. "Isabella, what is this?" she hissed. I met her eyes. "That's my contribution. $1. The exact amount of support you all gave me on the most important day of my life." Gasps rippled through the crowd. My father stood, red-faced. "You're embarrassing us," he barked. I looked around the room. "You embarrassed me first," I said evenly. "You chose flowers over family, a party over pride. I walked that graduation stage alone because I didn't have $3,500. But I have something better now. Self-respect." I placed the mic down and walked out as whispers followed me. That night, I turned off my phone. They called, texted, begged me to apologize for the scene. I didn't. Days later, my brother sent me a long message. "You ruined my wedding." I replied with 4 words. "You ruined my graduation." Months passed. My Karen stopped speaking to me, siding with my brother. It hurt, but I poured that pain into my career. Within 2 years, I became a lead designer at the firm and bought my own apartment, no help from anyone. Then, one afternoon, I received a call from my mother. Her voice trembled. "Sweetie, we need help. Your father's been laid off and the bank's threatening foreclosure." For a long moment, I said nothing. Then I asked, "Where's James?" "He and Brianna moved to Florida. They don't pick up anymore." I closed my eyes. Karma has perfect timing, I thought. "I'll come by tomorrow." The next day, I visited their house, the same one I'd grown up in. My father looked thinner, older. My mother's hands shook. "We just need a small loan. Maybe $10,000. We'll pay you back." I sat down, calm and composed. "I'll do something better. I'll buy the house. Outright. You can stay here rent-free for a year. After that, the house will become a scholarship home for women in architecture who can't afford housing." My mother's eyes widened. "You're turning our home into a charity?" I nodded. "Because no one should ever feel as unwanted as I did, not even strangers." She started to cry. My father whispered, "We were wrong, Isabella." I stood up, looking around the home filled with old family photos. "You taught me the value of money. Now I'm teaching you the value of love, the kind you took for granted." A year later, my parents moved to a small apartment. They send me letters sometimes, saying they're proud. Maybe they are. Maybe they've finally learned. As for me, every year I attend the graduations of the young women who live in that house, cheering louder than any parent ever did for me. When people ask why I do it, I smile and say, because no one deserves to celebrate alone. Some revenge doesn't destroy, it rebuilds, but it always makes sure the lesson is remembered.